Get my rows of saddles situated here.
Oh, I love that.
Hi, I'm Kara O, and today we are going to talk about commitment. And I have this wonderful man with me today as my guest. We're doing several videos today. This is Stephan E. Gordon, and he may look a little scary with that hat on, but he has a heart about as big as Texas.
Texas, that's
About
right.
as big as Texas. I think that's
right.
our biggest state.
That's
Maybe
it.
Maybe Alaska.
Alaska's kind
Alaska
of big.
bigger? I
There's
don't even
nothing
know.
like
That's
Texas,
terrible. That's Americans, you know, with their geography. So on to commitment. Women are accusing men all the time of being commitment phobes, meaning they won't commit to me.
Right.
But men get married every day. So
We do.
what would you want to say to the ladies about this whole thing, you know, regarding commitment?
I would say commitment. That's a huge word. That's a huge word. It's an umbrella word.
It's true. You're right. You're right. So let's
really
break
is.
it down. There's a commitment to only
absolutely.
date and only have sex.
Right.
And then
right.
the commitment to be engaged, and then the commitment to be married, or blah,
Right.
blah, blah. So
Absolutely. There's a commitment to yourself. There's a commitment to the higher power. There's a commitment to your children if you have them.
we're getting deep.
There's a commitment to your family. It's a commitment to your job.
Yeah.
The commitment is a huge umbrella word. Now, in this context, where the woman typically is not always the woman, but
Right.
more than likely it's the woman.
I don't hear many men calling women commitment phobes. There are some out there, though.
There's a couple. I know a few.
Two of
I know a
them. There's
couple.
two.
But what I think they're referring to is someone who's afraid to pull the trigger on the whole engagement process
Such a guy phrase, pull the trigger.
and
Yeah.
the impending wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I would say to those women who have those issues with said men is look at what that's basically telling your soon-to-be husband, hopefully, if that's the case. Right now, I'm single. I live with two guys. I wake up in the morning, I go to work, I come home, I do what I want to do. If it's night for me to have my kids, I have my kids. If not, I do what I want to do on my time. What you're basically telling him is that he's going to go from doing whatever he wants to doing whatever you want. It's never a whatever we want to do.
Right.
It's a whatever I want to do. And you have to do it by virtue of you being with me.
You meaning the guy here.
The guy,
Yeah,
right. This is the woman saying basically,
Yes,
whatever it is
yes.
I want to do, you as a man, you as my husband, you have to do it and you have to like it. So that's kind of scary to a lot of guys. Now, that's not to say that most guys, as Kara just pointed out, guys are getting married every day. You know, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a year.
They keep trying.
Yeah, they keep trying, you know. So there's
Men like being married.
Men like being married.
Yeah.
I loved being married. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. And the funny thing about that is, I'll back up a little bit, is when I told my friends I was getting married, matter of fact, when I told my mom I was getting married, she was like, hold on a second, let me change the battery in my hearing aid. I don't think I heard that right. Did you say you were getting married? And I said, yeah, I am. And so there's a huge discrepancy between what a guy sees as a commitment
Right.
and what a woman sees as a commitment. What I think, I shouldn't say a woman, but a lot of women, what I think a lot of women see as a commitment or a lack of a commitment in men is basically them saying, everything I want it my way, you have no say in it. And that scares the shit out of a lot of guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it does. I know lots of friends of mine that are married. I have lots of friends that were married. I have lots of friends that are thinking about being married.
Right.
And the one thing that's common in all 3 of those groups is that they all think exactly alike.
They're going to lose their freedom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question
Well, you know,
about it.
this term, settling down.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to settle down.
Right.
I'm 60-something. I don't want to settle down.
Right.
I mean, think about that. We're basically saying, we want you to change your life entirely.
Absolutely.
Huge.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. And I don't think that the woman in this case is ill-meaning or anything.
No,
it's just societal.
Just sort of the way,
and
yeah.
it's just the
It's
way that
assumptions.
it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. You know, one of the things I teach in Men Made Easy is that for a man, he has to look at it from a very pragmatic perspective. That
Absolutely.
this is me taking on the responsibility of the financial and emotional security of a wife and possible children. And so it's very nuts and bolts. Whereas for a lot of women, it's a little more about the fantasy and the wedding and
Sure.
and the you know, we don't say what I mean. White picket fence. What kid knows what that means anymore? Young woman, but you know, it's about the
Absolutely.
fantasy of, oh, we're going to have this lovey-dovey romantic thing, and that's not looking at it from a real
Absolutely.
perspective. And you're right. A lot of women want they want to control the guy.
Sure.
I have I don't know if it was I know I read probably a video and an article on. She just wants him to behave. You need to behave.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How demeaning.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to look at this
Absolutely.
whole thing in a different way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So-
absolutely. One of before we end this one right here, one of the things that always got me is that lots of times, not always, but I'll say probably 85-90% of the time, you'll find a couple that comes together. The man is deeply in love with the woman is deeply in love with the man. They love each other unconditionally. When they do, you know, eventually put that ring
Yeah.
exchange, do the ring exchange, now all of a sudden, you've got to change.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be that beer swilling, you know, navel picking pig that I was in love with just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now, I loved you then, but we're married now, so you can't do that anymore. And that's very confusing to the guy.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "Well, you loved me. You
Yeah.
loved me how I was.
Yeah.
Why now do I have to change and become all prim and proper and everything and drink my 40 ounce with my pinky up in the air now instead of just guzzling it?"
Yeah. Well, one of the things I do teach women is when they're just starting to fall in love, you know, they're dating and falling in love. I think it's in From Flirting to Forever, my dating book. Start writing down the things that are causing you to fall in love. What is it about this guy that you love? And then remind yourself of that on a regular basis because they
Absolutely.
forget.
They do.
Start focusing on what's not working and forget about what was working. And
Sure.
yeah. Oh my God, we could go on for hours. So we're gonna
Absolutely.
stop for now. I think
Okay.
we gotta stop somewhere.
Somewhere.
Kara O and Stephan E. Gordon.
Gordon.
I get the E. I'm just having trouble with
It's the
that.
E.
Wishing you lots of lip smack and love. Mwah.